I'm sitting in a parking lot. Sid has a doctor's appointment, and that's how that all goes. Nothing I can do. You can't go in. It's only one person. And, you know, there's this whole virus thing. It's got so many layers, so much politics involved, which I can't stand that aspect. It shouldn't have anything to do with politics. You know, I'm trying to figure out what, just looking at, I mean, I one of the things I really think is that one of the worst things that's happened in recent years is this 24-hour-a-day news channel stuff. I think news should be like it was years ago. News came on from 6 to 7, there was another one at 11, that kind of thing. But this constant barrage of just the same thing over and over and over isn't a good situation. So I think, because what it does is, and I understand the reason, if your views are bent a certain way, you're going to go to that particular news channel. If your views are bent another way, you're going to go to that news channel to reinforce what you happen to think. And so the reason that I think that this whole news thing is one thing, the best thing would be just have regular news, is that people don't go through, learn, think, analyze for themselves anymore. They go to whatever station or publication or whatever it happens to be that aligns with what their thinking is, and that just solidifies and makes it fact. It's not necessarily fact. A lot of what we see as news is really editorial. It's commentary. It's not news. You know, news is a volcano blows up. That's news. A building falls down. That's news. But when you get into all this dissertation about how this is and what's that and how's this and blah 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 and what you should think, that to me is a big mistake. It shouldn't be what you think. You should think what you think yourself. You should learn the facts, study what it is, read about it from all kinds of different sources, and then come up with your own conclusion as to what it is or what it might be. And unfortunately, in this day and age, you're never going to find out exactly what it really probably is, because there's too many layers. There's too many people who have other agendas involved to advance their own ways, whatever it is, political, monetary, whatever it happens to be. So, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff, and I just see that I think there's going to be a lot of societal changes potentially that happen with, I think social distancing is going to go on for a while until people are secure that there's it's not going to be coming back, that they're relatively safe going out, doing things again with a group of people. And until that happens, you know, that's one of those scenarios. If everything opens back up again, you know, I know some people who, oh God, as soon as it opens up, the economy's going to be booming. And I'm like, how do you figure that? You've got umpteen million people who are unemployed. You've got even the people who aren't unemployed, who maybe still have jobs, who still have money, that kind of thing. Are they really going to be willing to just hop on a plane again and go, oh, great, I can't wait to be with a whole bunch of people so I can take my vacation. It's been, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people, as a general rule, are still going to be very weary about doing those kind of activities again. So what's that going to do? Airlines, coffee shops, restaurants, hotels, a myriad of businesses will be impacted. And for how long? I don't know. It could be quite a while. How many of those will survive? Again, I don't know. But now, throw in, like this summer, say everything's back on track by July. things are opening up. It's been a slow release. Everybody's going back to hopefully going to work. And then the July and August, it's really good. And then come fall, it gets worse because it comes back. I mean, if you look at, 1918 Spanish flu, it went through the spring. By summer, there was a big lull. And by fall, everybody celebrated it was over. And by winter, it was a disaster. Winter was way worse. Now, hopefully that's not the scenario. But if that is the scenario, by the time people come out of this next spring or summer, it's going to change the world like most of us have never seen. People aren't going to do a lot of the things they are. Work isn't going to be the same as it was. The potential is it the end of the world? No, it's not the end of the world. Is it going to change the world? Yeah, I think it will. Will it change it in a positive way? This gets to be another thing. It could be a momentum for a positive change, but it also could be that those who were stacked so that they do better and everybody else doesn't will work that. And that's one of those other things. I don't comment too much on politics and all that kind of stuff, but really the whole political system is a mess to me. You've got people in there who have been in there for their life. It should be something, if you want to go in and you want to do a community service or whatever, that's great. But if you're being paid for it, then you should, when you're in charge of dictating laws or setting up laws or whatever, then you should have a time limit on that. You shouldn't just have that as a lifetime job. No matter what happens after, say, 6 years, that's it, period. Bye, see you later. No, you can't go again. Get somebody else who's willing to contribute what they have. And I realize that's complicated because after you've been in that for 6 years, how do you go back to a job you had 6 years ago? There's issues with that. But, there's too much of that that's gone on that solidifies that group of people who have control and everything else, who put things in, who better themselves. I'd say, I don't know how much percent, they look after themselves. I mean, who goes into politics and comes out poor? Nobody. Who goes into a job and you have a lifetime benefit after a few years and phenomenal health insurance? Who goes into a job where you all on the factory floor or whatever say, okay, all of us in favor of a raise, say aye. Aye. It's a messed up system. So maybe something good will come of that. I don't really know. A lot of this there's so many facets to this that it's, I go back and forth, and I probably should just stick to one part of whatever, but, my head goes in different directions and thinking about people without jobs, what's going to happen after, what if these jobs don't come back, how's the economy going to work, what's going to happen with people and their livelihoods, incomes. And it's really, to me, going to be the best possible scenario. Come June, July, it's wiped out. They've magically made a vaccine that kills it. Great, wonderful. Hopefully it doesn't go back to exactly the way it was, but there's a bit of a new routine, contingency, but I don't really see that as happening. I see the longer this potentially goes on, the bigger the problems are going to be to solve. Okay, there are going to be problems, and they're going to have to be solved. I mean, when you have all these people unemployed, where is the money going to come to take care of them? I don't know. It's a complicated thing other than just the virus. We'll do some more after it's done. Okay, well, Sid had to go get a couple items at the grocery store. So, in usual fashion, it's just one of us in, and she's all set for that. So, I don't know. This is going to be or maybe it isn't. Is this going to be one of those events that leaves a lasting impression in people? And, sort of what I mean by that is, and everybody has their own version of that, but, I'm sure you all know somebody who, when they were younger, maybe they had too much gin to drink. And when I say too much. And what happened was, for the entire rest of their life, they said, oh, I'll never drink gin again. Oh my God, that was such a bad thing. And that memory, even though it might have been only once, holds so strong that they changed their whole attitude towards that particular thing. Will this be one of those events that changes people's attitudes towards how they work, where they go, how they socialize, what they will? I don't know. The Great Depression had that effect. I mean, I know plenty of older people who still, can afford, say, the $8 great steak, but the $3 one that tastes like shoe leather is on sale, so they buy the $3 one. That effect from that period of time, now I grant you, right now it was way longer period of time, but will that hold? Will there be a whole new generational thinking of we're not going to potentially travel as much? I don't know. We're not going to do things in excess because we're afraid of if something happens again, I won't have a job, I need to secure some money, keep that on hand. Again, I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I'm not, psychic or any of those kind of things. So, but it has the potential for all that. It will change attitudes, the way people spend, the way people shop, the way people eat. In the long run, I don't know. Is it good? Is it bad? I don't really know. Nobody knows, or at least nobody that I know knows. So what's that going to come down to later? How long this goes? All we can do is go through every day. I mean, that's what we do. We go through every day. We do what we need to do. We try to plan ahead. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what scenarios could possibly happen after this, so that if, we come out, is it going to be, am I going to be able to sell coffee to coffee shops? Will coffee shops exist? Will they be in limited number? Or one of the other scenarios is people will start to avoid places like that. So will people then start brewing more coffee at home? I think if this goes on for a period of time and that scenario happens, then, brewing your own good cup of coffee at home has a much higher potential. So, I'm working on thinking in that regard. People going to stop drinking coffee? No, I don't think so. It's one of those things that I just can't see happening unless the price of coffee went skyrocketing through the roof, which again, I don't see that happening. It's going to be an interesting time, and the best is just to read, think, make it through, do what you need to do to stay safe, keep other people safe. Remember, it's not just about you, it's other people. You could go out and be feeling perfectly fine, but carrying it. And all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of other people. And that's the potential where it could get really bad later. Where a lot of people just say, yep, fine, great, I'm going out, oh, it's all over. And then all of a sudden, the numbers skyrocket. That's what happened in 1918. Everybody was told it was all under containment, blah, blah, blah. Troops came home from Europe. And all of a sudden they had big parades. There was all kinds of gatherings. That won't happen. But if on any kind of a scale, it starts an uptick, people are going to be really concerned. So will this create a generational change? I don't know. Will it create one of those lasting bad memories? Time will tell. This is one of the things I'm thinking of selling. This is from a company called Fellows, and it's a thermos mug. Keeps the coffee really warm, and it has this wide mouth. By the way, that's a Burundi that comes from a co-op in Burundi that is run and everything solely by women. Great coffee. I only have a limited amount. I got to put it up on the website. But I'm thinking of selling these because this little mug is really good. I mean, you can make coffee in the morning. In the afternoon, it's not hot, but it's still pretty warm. Remember I was telling you about the potential positives? If you look at pictures from cities around the world since this has started, a lot of the air pollution has gone down. That could tell you something. It might be a future thing that can be worked on so that without disease we can get rid of the air pollution part. Just thinking. Think of this too. I just saw a guy go into the grocery store. He had a mask on and sunglasses. Did you ever think you'd see people going into stores and businesses with masks and sunglasses on? Yep, sun's out and it's snowing.